Yo, yo. Welcome back to another video. If you're asking why it's dark, just look at the title. We reacting to Nick Crowley. I'm not gonna lie, one of the best scary, you know, one of the best scary narrators on YouTube, in my opinion. Darkest Kids TV show ever made. Let's get into it, bro. Um, Before we start though, I might be muting myself because my little brother just talking mad loud for no reason, bro. So my apologies, alright, if that happens. My apologies if that happens. I'ma eat chips, by the way, alright. I'm gonna be feasting on LeBron. Alright, bro. L moved from the parent, by the way. Like, motherfucker, you do not know who it's from, bro. Why the fuck are you gonna look at it? Second of all, they should have watched it first and then be like, oh, it's cool. We could watch it. Bro, Life with Grandpa? What? Alright, let me log in. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down, partner. Okay. The song usually featured characters that were not from the show. Okay. Okay. What? Oh, hell nah, bro. Dabadito. Good. What the fuck you mean good witness? What the hell? Okay. I mean, bro, I would have thought it's gonna show like some crazy stuff, like right from the bat, or like literally at the end of the clip or something. Go from this to like some disturbing stuff, but like, nah, I guess we just gotta watch, bro. Cause this shit looks, well, actually, not normal. This shit kind of creeping me out. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? Where am I? Okay. I'm gonna take out my shirt, bro. Don't worry. I got an undershirt. I got an undershirt. I don't know how I feel about these shirts still, bro. I gotta get used to it. I'm, I gotta get used to this shit. All right, look. Off topic. These motherfuckers are see through. All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Oh. What the fuck? Her ass said, "Let me lick it off you." It's what the fuck? That's kind of. I mean, I don't even know, bro. First of all, pause. Um, Second of all, you could have said any other word, right? Like, what's the most common one people use? Like throws challenges in our way or something like that. Spanking us. What the? Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say that, bro. Like he said, when this was made in the '80s. Like at that time, everyone was thinking that way, bro. You really think about it? Like you ask someone from that time, right? Like right now being old, they be like, oh, if you're gonna work, you're gonna pay for this, you're gonna pay for that. Oh, I gotta, clean the house, do this, do that. Like I've heard, um, people, from that time, like literally my aunties, bro. my mom. They literally say that, bro. Like they literally be like, you know, when they be just giving you life tips or some shit. They be telling me that shit, bro, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, just, you know, like how every kid does, like, all right, I understand, like, you know, type of it, but trust, really trust and obey. There's no other way. Ooh, nah. That's how you watch Bill 9, the Science Guy at this time, bro. I had a burp. Excuse me. What in the world is that, bro? What the fuck? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Bro, what the fuck, bro? You should. Exactly, bro. If this was an adult, you know, like a Family Guy type of show, it would I wouldn't think it would be that crazy, right? Because, you know, it's made for adult, you know, humor and shit like that. But bro, that is insane. What the fuck? Hold on. Also, my bad for the chair, bro. My shit is old. All right. Let me put the volume down. It might be a little. Wait. Wait. Don't tell me. Don't don't do this, bro. Don't tell me this shit was not playing at all, bro.
Grandpa then explains to them how
You're telling me for the past 14 minutes there has been no type of audio, bro. Oh my! Imagine if I never noticed, bro. Imagine if I never noticed. Oh my.
his wife and their mother had slept with other men. See, God used Timothy and Carlos only to fuck Mama so that I could have you both. They were just like an
What the fuck?
instrument or tool that Jesus used to help create you wonderful little children for his kingdom. Praise the Lord. This was followed by an in-depth explanation of what that scene looked like, including images depicting the act.
Bro.
Examples like this are prevalent all throughout the pages of Life with Grandpa, with erotic material being shown constantly with no regard as to how inappropriate this is to be showing kids. Which begs the obvious question, why? Why was Life with Grandpa so blatantly perverted? Well, the answer lies with the author of the books, and the reason for the show's existence, David Berg.
He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. That's when Jesus is going to come back, to rapture his saints, to gather them together.
Born in 1919, David grew up a devout believer in Christianity, but wanted something more from the religion. He dreamed of one day starting his own group with his own teachings, and in 1968, at the ripe age of 50, he decided it was time to do just that.
Wait, what the fuck he say? Did he say R word at age?
And in 1968, at the ripe age of 50, he decided it was time to do just that.
I don't know what the
The
fuck
group
that
began in
meant,
Huntington
but
Beach, California, and went by many names over the years, like Teens for Christ, the Children of God, the Family of Love, the Family International, or just the Family. But regardless of its name, there was no denying what this group was. A cult. A cult led by David Berg.
my
Berg
bad,
would
I was
find
even
young
what he
kiddies
said.
and those struggling with drug addiction and mental health issues, and convinced them to join his group by stating that the end of the world was coming soon, and that they needed to follow in his path and join his family to save their souls. It was pretty standard cult ideology, but at the time it was extremely effective, with the sect amassing a staggering 10,000 members at its peak. And at first, David got by with fairly standard teachings from the Bible, although this wouldn't last. After some time, Berg began addressing his followers via
Dedication,
frequent illustrated
Revolution of
messages
Moses.
called Mo letters, that
Latches
featured
of
his ramblings
love.
and teachings from the time, with Berg slowly ingraining into his members that the contents of these letters should be taken as seriously, if not more so, than the Bible. In one of these letters sent out in 1972, Berg claimed that God was going to destroy the United States and that the group needed to flee the country immediately, with Berg demanding that his followers spread out all across the globe and open up communal homes where members could live as one, far away from the public eye. As a result, many members packed up their things and left right away, leading to roughly 130 communities being established across 70 different countries, essentially
Damn.
overnight. This mass migration had an extremely significant impact on the family, as it left practically the entire group outside of the United States, and more importantly, outside of the United States jurisdiction, meaning that Berg could now get away with far more than he used to. And unsurprisingly, this is where he began to tighten his control.
I don't even want to imagine, bro. Like, I'm already thinking about the crazy shit this motherfucker has done and will do after, bro. I'm already thinking about this shit, like,
The full-time members were made to give up all of their earthly possessions to the group and cease all contact with their family and friends who were non-believers, cutting them off from the outside world completely. And these restrictions also applied to the media they consumed. In his teachings, Berg denounced all forms of entertainment made outside of the cult, since he believed that this would poison the minds of his members and potentially sway them into leaving.
all right, that motherfucker lost me, chat. For a split second, he had me there, cause you know at this time around, bro, these little kids they dead gotta get off the phones, bro. Like, how the hell did I see a 2-3-year-old whip out a big ass phone from his pocket and motherfucker look like a little ass adult, bro. His ass went. Like what the fuck? What is this little ass kid doing with a phone like that, bro? Like, what the fuck? But hey, bro.
And so instead,
Whatever.
he insisted
I
that his
am
followers
not their
only
parents, so
consume
what the
media
fuck am
that
I
was
gonna do?
produced directly by
Nothing.
the family, with his works often being
I don't
created
do
by
nothing.
Berg himself or the other followers he enlisted, and then shipped directly to the members'
Yo,
homes,
nah, the only
leading to
thing-
hundreds, if not thousands, of videos, movies, and TV shows being produced and shared among the family. But for Berg, this wasn't just about providing entertainment. It was really all about controlling the minds of his group, and even more importantly, indoctrination, with his primary targets being children. From birth, most kids were not shown any media other than what the cult gave their parents, with these works quite
Damn.
literally shaping their minds into following everything that the cult believed in without question. The main themes of these were usually things like always be happy,
More than 70 little muscles form a rowdy face.
But only
always show love, and never, under any circumstances, question your parents.
Always best to do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. Trust, obey, and do it 'cause Daddy said so. Do it 'cause Daddy said so. 'Cause Daddy knows best.
And Life with Grandpa was no exception, as it too was created by
That's
the family
crazy.
in order to instill their beliefs into its child viewers, with the line trust and obey being hammered home time and time again, as those creating the programs didn't want their kids questioning any of the practices, and so they were teaching them to simply smile along and trust the adults. But because the group was the one producing and distributing the content, they basically had no regulations placed on them, meaning that they could include whatever they want in these shows without any repercussions, leading to many of the showrunners exploring some of the group's more controversial beliefs.
That shit is still in my head, bro. What the fuck is that, bro? That shit is crazy. That fucking robot is
Which
crazy,
becomes
bro.
extremely troublesome when you realize that the family wasn't just your standard cult, and instead, it was a sex cult.
Bro, what? Bro. Look, Ch- you know what I was thinking right now, bro? I'm like, alright, like, what they're showing is not that bad, you know? Because they're saying to, you know, listen to your parents, don't, you know, be a bad kid or some shit. Now knowing this, bro, it's over, bro. It's fucking over for the
When you think
kids,
of
bro.
Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, what are you
Bro,
thinking
that-
about? You think about a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman. And what is the first thing that a beautiful naked man and a beautiful naked woman would, of course, naturally do as soon as they saw each other and nobody else around? I think just one look was all it took.
David
Bro.
Berg was a deeply perverted man. The idea of sex consumed him
Bro.
and seeped its way into essentially all of his teachings.
I think Adam and Eve are over there behind those bushes right now, busy making not pina colada. I think they're making some other kind of juices.
And once his followers were outside of the US, he began to preach something he called the law of love, which essentially said that the family should be showing all people love, and that love should come in the form of sex.
I practice what I preach, and I preach sex, boys and girls, hallelujah.
And so he told his followers to open up their relationships to outsiders, calling the practice sharing, as you were made to share your partner in the hopes of enticing.
Each and every one of these motherfuckers were getting fucking snickled, bro. Oh my gosh. That you're telling me these motherfuckers they were getting cooked, bro. They were getting cooked. Not cooked, bro. CU. Not COO, bro.
people to
That
join
is
the group.
insane.
But he wasn't satisfied with just this.
Motherfucker got me fucked up, bro. What the hell? All these, like, it's probably because they grew up from, you know, from watching just that, bro. But, like, you know,
And
that is
instead, he
insane.
began to mandate that the women of the group participate in something he called flirty fishing. Also known as FF, flirty fishing describes the practice of women going into bars at night in order to pick up lonely men, who they would then entertain for the night. The goal of this was to convince these men to join the family, though more realistically, the goal was also to make money, as they were made to charge for their services, with the women being told to seek lonely businessmen. And this is something that Berg not only pushed heavily, but outright mandated, insisting that every woman in the group do this or face being removed from the family, even those who were married. And Berg was so serious about this that he sent every colony report forms so that they could report how much flirty fishing was being done, in order to check their statistics and make sure that they were up to par. Understandably, many women of the group were concerned by this, and wanted nothing to do with it. However, most of them had moved all the way across the world, and sacrificed all of their belongings to be in this group, meaning that their removal would leave them with nothing.
Nothing.
They were trapped.
Damn.
Simply put, Berg was forcing the women of the group into prostitution, and he was shameless about it too, calling them God's whores and Christ's hookers.
Bro.
The worst of all, Berg knew that flirty fishing could put these women in grave danger, as he admitted to them that violent assaults were going to happen, but he said that if you want to live, simply don't resist. And if you do get hurt or even killed, that's entirely your fault, as after all...
What the fuck? What the fuck are they gonna do, bro? That is insane.
It was God's will. And this was on top of a myriad of other horrific things that Berg said that I can't even repeat here. But the man saying all of these horrific things was the same man who wrote Life with Grandpa, and he used this medium to normalize his sex cult's beliefs for the children watching, which gives more context as to why women were portrayed in the way they were in these books and the show, as Life with Grandpa was breaking down the young girls watching and grooming them for a life of prostitution that they were made to accept without question.
Trust and obey, for there's no other way. Trust and obey.
Though the show wasn't only for preparing the kids for the perverse lifestyles they were headed for, and instead, they were already becoming well accustomed to it. Throughout his Mo letters, Berg
There's nothing in the world at all wrong with sex as long as it's practiced in love, no matter who or what. Hey, bro.
also began to preach that children should be involved in these affairs and sharing as well, stating that he believed age should have nothing to do with it. In fact, he believed that children should be taught about this lifestyle essentially as soon as they're born. And although, again, I can't read his exact words on this, Berg had declared open season on pedophilia, and much like flirty fishing, it was mandatory.
Bro.
The abuse that followed is unimaginable, at a scale far too large to fully know to this day. Abuse that the parents of the children not only allowed, but often participated in. With one
Bro, that shit's about to make me sick, bro. Dude, that shit is gonna make me sick, bro. What the fuck, man?
of the more notorious large-scale accounts, coming from something that the group called the Love Video. This movie was a result of Berg sending out requests to all of the parents to send him lewd videos of their children dancing, which...
Bro, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Bro. What the fuck? Nah, real shit, this shit is fucking crazy, bro.
Which he not only took for himself, but packaged together into a long-form compilation video
Oh, shit,
that was
hold
then
my eye.
distributed to all of the cult's members, encouraging the others to film similar content, with Berg going as far as creating a guide to help create the perfect video. And not only did many parents go along with this, but many clearly enjoyed it.
Keita shared with us the video that just came from World Services, and it was so inspiring. It was so beautiful. The love video.
And for this couple specifically,
Bro, arrest every single one of these motherfuckers, bro. I don't care if you fucking didn't like the video, bro. If you still watch that shit, motherfucker, you going to jail as well, bro. What the fuck wrong with you? Like, the fuck?
this wasn't the only order that they were happily following.
And it was really a blessing too for Joe and Hobo, because they had a good chance to share also with Sally. And so the Lord's really setting us freer and freer to obey and to be free and to show that sample of freedom and love to the world.
Life with Grandpa was literally created to indoctrinate kids into a pedophilic sex cult, and it makes you realize why exactly it and so many other of the cult's programs were hammering home this point of not questioning your parents or any adults, and to simply obey and smile.
So the right thing is...
To obey.
Because the adults in their lives were now suddenly doing unimaginable things to them, and they were being groomed not to question it, making some of the show's segments horrendous in hindsight.
One very special way you can show the big people that you love them is by giving them lots of hugs, kisses, and cuddles. Oh, a child's love and affection really encourages and inspires the big people.
It was normalizing their abuse, and because of this, many children never questioned the horrible assaults that they endured, assaults that were all fueled and pushed by David Berg's sick perversions.
God created boys and girls able to have children.
Bro, just look at this
by
dude,
about
bro.
age of 12 years of age. God, now he's going to educate
which were far from theoretical, as Berg himself allegedly partook in this practice repeatedly
Bro,
with his
this
own
shit
children
dead
and
ass got me
stepchildren,
mad,
as incest
bro.
was also a key point of his teachings, and his adult followers rarely dared to question this, as those who refused to partake in Berg's latest teachings were again at risk of removal from the group, which is even more devastating for those who had children, as much like all of their possessions, their kids were pledged and belonged to the family. And the kids
What?
themselves couldn't seek help either, as those that refused to trust and obey were sent away to actual prison camps owned by the cult until they were basically reprogrammed.
They made camps. I was sent with my
Bro, that is so fucked, bro. That, oh, man.
brother to the Philippines. We had armed guards from the Philippine military keeping us in. They would publicly beat you if you asked to leave, then try to break you and get you to confess.
And the group continuously got away with this too, thanks in large part to Berg's orchestration of the group leaving the United States, which looking back was almost certainly done on purpose. Plus, many members were actually living in hiding. In fact, all of the members were made to change their names upon joining the group, and most were told to never give out their last names, meaning that if any child wanted to report that it happened to them, they would be unable to provide even the names of their abusers. And this included Berg too, who at this point lived most of his life in hiding, going by numerous aliases to avoid detection, aliases like King, Moses, Mo, Dad, and eventually, Grandpa.
Bro.
The entire show was about him, David Berg, which is why he was shown as a wise, unquestioned religious-like figure who the children were made to look up to. And that wasn't all, as the characters shown alongside Berg were also members of his real-life family that lived with him in a remote commune.
What?
Mother Maria was the nickname of Karen Zerby, David's wife who helped him run the cult and facilitate this era of hypersexualization.
Why the fuck is she not in
while
jail?
Aunt Sarah was based on Sarah Kelly, the woman in charge of running the prison camp made to punish the kids who dared question the family's beliefs.
Sarah Kelly, who was responsible for me being held against my will in the Philippines.
But the most grotesque detail to come from
Why the fuck is she not in jail, bruh? What the fuck?
the
man?
revelation of who these characters
I'm not even
are
laughing because of
was
that,
it
bro. I'm just
showcased
laughing
David
because I was
Berg's polygamy,
how fucking weird
as he was
this
actually
shit is.
married
Stupid,
to many
man.
people in the real world, and two characters on the show itself, Mother Maria and Davida, his then 5-year-old stepdaughter. Davida would eventually go on to tell her story, stating that she had been Berg's child bride.
And there was a ceremony with the ring and everything.
I know I wasn't the only one who caught that right, bro. I know I wasn't the only one who caught that shit right. Look at the eye, bro. You cannot tell me that is not. You cannot tell me that's not happening because of, you know, just cause, bro. She went. Like, look how she fucking blinked, bro. You cannot tell me that's not weird, bro. What the fuck is that? Bro, you cannot tell me that's not weird, bro.
5-year-old stepdaughter. Davida would eventually go on to tell her story, stating that she had been Berg's
What the
child
fuck?
bride.
And there was a ceremony with the ring and everything. And once I turned 5 years old was when I was implicated into being one of his queens, so to speak.
Along with allegations that she had been victimized by him countless times. And she wasn't the only victim of Berg's perversions. Techi was often sexualized by Berg publicly, with Berg having stories made and illustrated depicting his
Bro.
fantasies about her when she was just a child. On top of this, numerous people within the group also claimed that she had been outright assaulted by the hands of Berg, as well as many others in the group.
And look at our pretty, pretty girls today. You're dressed in such nice dresses and your hair looks so nice. Yes, you look so pretty for all the children that are watching today.
The context of who these characters are makes this already disturbing show that much more sickening. But of all of the horrible stories to come from the real-life characters of Life with Grandpa, there's one that is far and away the most horrific. The story of Davidito.
David is such a handsome boy. Isn't
Story.
he, girls? Would you like for David to share some more lessons?
Yes, Grandpa.
Are you all ready? Okay, David. You have the floor.
No, bro, I don't even want to. I don't even want to.
His real name was Ricky
bro.
Rodriguez, and as a baby, he was taken in as Berg's son, following Maria conceiving him with a man after a night of flirty fishing. And being David's first son, he was given the nickname Davidito. As for David Berg, he viewed this child as essentially a messiah. He began telling his followers that Davidito would one day save them from the apocalypse, causing Davidito to become a celebrity within the group, and worshipped as a religious figure when he was just a baby. Which explains why he was given so much airtime during Life with Grandpa, and why he was constantly being showered with gifts.
We want to give you a little surprise because you were such a good witness.
And for David and Karen, they wanted Davidito's life and childhood to be a guide for all members of the group, as they raised him in what they believed to be the perfect manner for a godly household. And so the couple and several other contributors documented the way he was raised, with daily journal entries that were published as weekly newsletters, and eventually turned into one massive book titled The Story of Davidito. And the family truly believed that this over 700-page book was the ultimate guide for parenting and showed the only proper way to raise a child, though what it actually showed was just how badly Davidito was being abused. Davidito is described laying next to his new nannies, witnessing orgies involving his own mother, and being touched sexually by the adults around him, with these examples being presented through not only written stories, but actual photographs, with the adults involved having their faces removed and drawings placed over the top of them in order to hide their identities. The book was not only promoting sexual acts with children, but it was outright showing it, and showing it happen to Davidito. And because of this, we have a daily journal entry of all the abuse that this child suffered, starting when he was an infant. Despite all the heinous acts that had been going on within the family, they had up until this point gone virtually unchecked by the public eye. But the story of Davidito would prove to be the first domino to fall, as the book leaked to the press.
Tonight, the cult Children of God, founded by Moses David Berg, he reportedly sanctioned sex among children.
This immediately became a news story all across the world, and it began shining a light on the family and its twisted beliefs. But despite all the constant news coverage, and the story of Davidito being tangible proof of the cult's horrible practices, there was still essentially nothing done to stop them, as very few arrests were ever made as a result, and even fewer resulted in convictions. So nothing was ever done to help Davidito. And so during his entire childhood and his early adult years, he stayed with the group. Though the older he got, the more he began to see the family for what they really were, and the constant pain that he was experiencing eventually made him want to just run away from it all. And so, in 1999, that's exactly what he did, fleeing to the United States in the hopes of starting a new life. Though this was easier said than done, and no amount of distance was enough to keep him away from his tortured past. At one point during his time in the United States, Ricky actually opened up about the struggles he was experiencing on a website made for survivors of the family. And there, he documented just how bad things really were for him and several others behind the scenes, living with Berg, appropriately titling the post, Life with Grandpa. It was apparent that he was haunted by this life that he tried to escape, as the trauma was an everyday cycle of hell, and he just couldn't take it anymore.
Do you know that sometimes the Lord likes to test our faith, to teach us patience, and to really make us pray? This is just what happened to me once.
What?
Well, hey everyone. I want people to know that even though some of the things that I'm going to try to do are rather shocking and maybe not right.
No one tell me he's gonna. Here's what I'm thinking. Look, I think he's gonna. I want to say massacre, but kill a lot of them, which is basically massacre. Or end it, if you know what I mean, bro. Damn.
In a lot of people's books, I want to explain some of the reasons behind it.
On January 7th, 2005, Ricky Rodriguez set up a video camera in his apartment and expressed his desire to kill his mother and other leaders of the group for all the dreadful things that they had done not only to him, but to all the other children, with his hope being that this would finally bring down the family once and for all.
My goal is to get those sick bucks, Ma and Peter, and, then I can go to the next life knowing that, that I made a difference.
With Ricky going as far as to show off the various ways that he planned on torturing them.
I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here. Got lots of fucking duct tape.
God knows. He hears. He cares. He loves his girls and boys. He gives his very best to those who let him choose the toys.
Yo.
By this point, David Berg had been dead for years, though the family carried on with his mother, Karen Zerby, assuming full control, which explains why she was the primary target. And much like Berg, Karen spent most of her life in hiding, with Ricky being unable to track her down, though he was able to find Angela Smith, one of the nannies responsible for raising him, as well as one of his most prominent abusers, as she was even shown in the story of Davidito abusing him. At this point, Ricky was exhausted, and Angela was his last shot at getting intel to help him find his mother and finally carry through on his plans. And so, he invited her over for dinner, under the guise of rejoining the group.
I went home that night and tried to wait patiently for the next day. But the Lord still had more lessons that he wanted to teach me. This is what happened.
Before Ricky could even get the information he was looking for, something in him snapped, and midway through their conversation, Ricky grabbed a knife and stabbed Karen in the arm, and then slit her throat. He fled the area that night, driving for hours until he reached California, the place that years before David Berg had started the family. There, he called his ex-wife, professing to everything he did, saying that he did it mainly for his sister Techi, but he felt no better. In fact, he felt worse. And even looking back at the video, it's very obvious that this was something that Ricky didn't truly want to do, and instead he felt like he had to do it, to avenge everyone that the family had hurt.
I'm not trained. I don't know how to fucking do this. I don't even want to fucking do this. God damn it.
And it was too late to take back what he did, and so he stopped the car in a dark parking lot, sat there for a moment thinking about everything that had happened during his painful life, and ended his suffering once and for all.
Wow.
Boy, that's what these fuckers have done to us. They didn't actually, grab a knife and cut us up, but man, they sure fucked up our brains. That's the way it was at Grandpa and Mama's house. Literally or figuratively, they're going down. So, with that happy thought, I shall leave.
Damn.
Ricky Rodriguez's death was devastating for the community of survivors of the family, and it caused shockwaves all throughout the family itself, as his final video was plastered all over the news. And though it didn't happen in the way he expected it or wanted it to, Ricky's life and death undoubtedly contributed to the decline of the family, and helped diminish the cycle of abuse within the group. Starting from the story of Davidito, the public pressure forced Berg to outlaw the widespread abuse that he once preached. And though it is believed that it never really came to an end, it was at the very least significantly reduced. And by the time the news began to cover Ricky's death, it proved to be the final wake-up call for many still within the group, as they finally began to see through the facade that had once controlled their lives.
Like Grandpa says, prayer is powerful. When we pray, things will happen and things will be different.
It's difficult to watch any of Life with Grandpa, knowing its history, its purpose, and the real people that it was inspired by. Though as soon as the media began taking notice of the cult, many members were made to purge the media that was sent to them that may be considered incriminating. And as a result, it appears that most of Life with Grandpa is missing to this day, and potentially destroyed forever. Currently, only 4 episodes have been recovered, and it's not even known how many more were released, or even what year the show started or ended. But considering how closely the show mirrored the book, it's possible that these potentially missing and destroyed episodes are much worse than the ones we have today. But despite not knowing the full extent of the show, it's clear that Life with Grandpa and countless other programs that the family made did exactly what they wanted them to. They brainwashed an entire generation of the cult's children, and the effects were devastating.
But they become extremely agitated when we ask them about Moses David Berg's teachings on sex.
My Little Fish. Now, your father described it as a routine publication.
They're not having sex, they're just kissing and hugging in bed. That's not sex.
If you show it to other people, they don't understand. That stuff's not supposed to be publicized. So many people think sex is wrong. So many people hate us. But we just telling them the truth.
That is, bro, this shit is sad as shit, bro. Whoa, bro, like, yo, that shit fucking with me right now, bro. Like, just even listening to them, that's not wrong. Saying that's not wrong is crazy, bro.
We're just telling them it's not not wrong. We're just telling us that there's nothing wrong with it. And here come these publicizers showing them to everybody.
Between the strange content from the program itself, its obvious
Damn.
attempts at indoctrinating kids into a cult that was only ever going to harm them, the real-life people behind the characters, and the fact that this propaganda was so effective, I have no doubt that Life with Grandpa is the darkest children's show that I've ever come across. Though, shockingly, there's somehow one more layer to the story that makes this program even more disturbing.
No way.
And now,
Peter
here's the
Puppet.
exciting ending to this story.
One thing that we haven't discussed yet is who was actually the one behind the creation of the show. There's no doubt that it's David Berg's stories and was probably done at his request, but who was the one actually making it? Well, unfortunately, most of the people who worked on the show have their identities hidden by only using their first names, or even using straight-up aliases, so I could hardly find any information on any of them, with the exception of one, Peter Puppet. Peter Puppet was sort of a celebrity within the group, being responsible for numerous puppet shows, including one called The Lovettes, which was actually far more popular than Life with Grandpa, and was even supposedly broadcast on TV in the Philippines, with the show being a disturbing rabbit hole in its own right.
Would you like to hear a story? Well then, let's go see Grandpa in the garden.
Hello, children. So nice of you to visit us in the garden today.
But Peter Puppet owned this group, and was in charge of the Lovettes team, and coincidentally, the Lovettes just so happened to be credited as the producers of Life with Grandpa. So Peter Puppet was, at the very least, one of the contributing creators of the show, and he also seems to be the one in charge of performing the actual musical numbers on the show, as they featured puppets that belonged to Peter and the Lovettes team, with these segments interestingly being credited to an unknown man named Peter Pioneer.
We have a beautiful song from Peter Pioneer.
It's not a concrete link, but it's clear that Peter Puppet had a role in the show's creation, and helped push the family's disturbed ideology onto hundreds of kids across the globe. But during the creation of Life with Grandpa, it seems his own beliefs were being tested. In the beginning of the video, we saw an example of the family's view on doctors.
Surely a doctor would have stitched it, but our God is still a God of miracles. Praise the Lord.
This sentiment was really common in the family, as Berg outright forbade any medicine or surgeries of any kind, instead preaching that miracles from God were the only way to heal. And because of this, many members of the family with chronic ailments or fatal illnesses were basically left to die, and one of those left suffering was Peter Puppet. His life is almost entirely a mystery, as he lived in hiding in one of the family's compounds, but according to some of the group's members, one day he noticed something in his neck, a small lump, and over the next few weeks and months, it began to slowly get bigger and bigger, to the point that Peter had to go visit a doctor in order to see what was wrong. And it was there he learned that inside of him was an aggressive tumor that was only going to get larger.
Damn.
The good news was the tumor was actually operable and could be removed with little risk to his life, but the bad news was surgeries were against the family's beliefs, and so he turned it down, instead opting to go back to the compound.
No, you fucking deserve that, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Real shit, but you doing all this weird shit, bro. You fucking...
Pray the tumor
sorry,
away
bro.
with the other members.
I'm sorry,
This,
but you-
however, never happened. Instead, the mass began to grow at an even faster rate, to the point that those around him could notice it, eventually leading to Peter hiding away in his room, away from the others, not wanting to be seen. However, at some point during his struggle, a photograph was taken, showing the entire compound he was living with. And in the background, we see
goodness, bro.
Peter, whose neck is impossibly large. From here, it's said that Peter began to beg the family to take him to get this surgery, as the tumor was quite literally suffocating him slowly, turning him against the very beliefs that he once forced upon so many children over the years. But the family forbade it, insisting that he wait for a miracle that was never going to come. With nowhere else to turn, Peter Puppet supposedly ended his own life shortly after this photograph was taken, adding the final pillar of context to Life with Grandpa, a program that can only be
Damn,
described
bro.
as the darkest children's show ever created.
We've got to go now. Let's wave bye-bye, kids. God bless you. Come on, say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bro.
For many a year, driven by hunger and filled with fear, I must arise.
David Berg died of natural causes in 1994. Age 75. He was never convicted of a single. Like, bro, shit is insane, bro. Karen Zuri continues her husband's legacy by leading the family to this day. Yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, nah, bro, nah. She has not been photographed or seen publicly since 2010, bro. Like, the family went already. That's in 2018. Charity specializing in helping
back to my father and home. Why should I perish in dark despair?
Tetsu would later speak out against her brother did, claiming that abuse ever took place and that Ricky was simply disturbed.
Here where there's no one to help nor care,
she remains, bro.
Shelter and food to spare, I will arise and go, deeply repent.
Due to the statute of a male reader, bro. Limitations, the many victims of the family will likely never receive the justice they deserve. That's so sad, bro. Honey continues operation with strict rules against the abuse. However, they have never just survived, bro. You know what, bro? That's it, bro. Like, dead ass, bro. Hey.